become a saint? To what purpose would I live a long time if I did not attain my goal? Said Blessed Maria Assunta Pallota at Rome. Hi friends, today I bring before you a simple soul, Blessed Maria Assunta Pallota, the member of Franciscan Missionaries of Mary, who died a victim of typhus when she was just 27 years of old, and a missionary in China for less than a year. While sisters were praying around her after death, suddenly felt a perfume of violets. It's because her life was centered on Jesus in the Eucharist. She was enveloped by God's grace and love during her short stay on this planet. This love she cherished was channelized through her simple and humble lifestyle. She said nothing special, did nothing great, but her life is a message. Thus, Blessed Mary of the Passion gave her as patron for temporary professed sisters. Here are few Franciscan Missionaries of Mary who shared the inspiration they drew from this little saint.
On this great day of our Institute, I wish you all a blessed feast of Blessed Maria Assunta. Luke chapter 10 verse 21. I bless you, Father, Lord of heaven and earth, because you have hidden from the wise and the intelligent what you have revealed to the little ones. On 7th April 1905, an FMO named Maria Assunta, just 27 years old, died a victim of typhus in China. Her sisters surrounded her, praying. All of a sudden, felt a perfume of violets. A delightful fragrance filled the room. For 3 days, the scent filled the house and the nearby places until her burial on 9th April 1905. This hidden saint, the hidden flower in God's garden, spread the fragrance not just at her deathbed, but all through her life, spread the fragrance of many virtues. Maria Assunta had lived a life like many others. Nothing special, nothing extraordinary. But what she lived it in death. She was a hidden flower from the region of Marches, Italy, who lived a simple and poor life. The oldest of 5 children, she was always calm, gentle, peaceful, and closer to God. Her parish priest would say later, every Sunday afternoon, when the church was deserted, we would find little Assunta kneeling there, praying, motionless and absorbed in God. Frequent visits to the Blessed Sacrament marked all the years of her youth. Thus, the hidden flower spread the fragrance of total dependence and complete surrender in the Lord. At the age of 15, she already had the maturity of an adult. Being intense and hard-working, she was wearing a prickly shirt often and fasting 3 times a week, even sleeping on stools. Thus, the hidden flower spread the fragrance of humility. She worked as a laborer, mason, also as a tailor. Despite limited resources, shared her food with the poor. Always smiling and cheerful, she became a subject of edification for all. She attracted everybody by her modest reserve. She scarcely knew how to read or write and was assigned to humble tasks as an FMO. With love, she cared for the animals and did the laundry. And this time, the hidden flower spread the fragrance of love and kindness. This charming flower of the Franciscan Missionaries of Mary was sent to the Chinese missions in 1904. On the journey, a severe storm arose. She was asked whether she was not afraid, but she calmly replied, "I have nothing to fear. It is all the same to me whether I arrive at my goal or whether I am drowned in the depths of the sea. Just so that the will of God is accomplished." Now the hidden flower spread the fragrance of seeking God's will and His will alone. She made a vow to do everything for the love of God, consecrating herself to the Lord, saying, "All for Jesus." Jesus in the tabernacle was the love of her soul. Her union with God was so intimate that no external occupation could disturb it. The task assigned her by providence to win the heathens for Christ by her holy and innocent life, as well as by her holy death, was accomplished by this hidden flower in the land of China. The hidden flower of marches spread the fragrance in the faraway land and will continue to fill the hearts of the present and the future ever. Blessed Maria Assunta, pray for us.
Gentle Saint, there is nothing more important on our spiritual path than developing an attitude of gentleness towards oneself and the other. For our greatest strength lies in gentleness and tenderness of our heart. Blessed Maria Assunta was a gentle soul whose natural disposition was mild, meek, amiable, soothing, and refined in manner. She had a tender heart that vibrated for her supreme beloved and sought after his sheep. She united herself with the Lord in worth searching and finding treasure as she knelt before God time to time, who in turn blessed her with the gentleness of spirit. She was as gentle as a little lamb, who smiled genuinely and spread gentleness to even the ones who depreciated her. She did all her work with much diligence and gentleness. She was assigned to various farm tasks such as the care of the animals, harvesting of the olives, and worked in the kitchen, shown herself to be more polite and gentle at all times. All her sisters remember her gentleness in her talking and teaching as she would teach catechism. She is an inspiration for all of us who rejoice in her gentleness and witnessing life. Let us imbibe the virtue of gentleness in our journey towards God, who has called us to reveal His gentleness to the people around.
Today, the Franciscan Missionaries of Mary all over the world are geared up to celebrate the feast of Blessed Maria Assunta Pallota, who desires to be unknown in serving God. She held this spiritual mantra deeply in her heart to emerge differently among the men and women who were the witnesses of yesterday and today in the service of the gospel. Blessed are we to have such a simple, devoted, and an extraordinary ephemera, for whom to be known by God is all that matters. Therefore, it is of no significance for her whether or not she is known to the world. On her feast day today, I am privileged to reflect on Blessed Maria Assunta's desire to be unknown. Yes, it is true she had lived a life like so many others, Nothing special, nothing extraordinary, but what she lived it in depth and in silence. What motivated and inspired her to live a life of worthy and acceptable to God? It is none other than her heroic renouncement of glory and limelight during her missionary journey. Be it in chapel, poultry, laundry, kitchen, infirmary, or in garden, she did everything as an act of love to Jesus and made her way silently with total forgetfulness of self. When there was extra work or when a harder job presented itself, one was sure to find her ready. To accomplish her daily duties as perfectly as possible in silence seemed to her the best way of serving as a true missionary. To God, she offered her heart in frequent prayer. Ever intimately united with God, she lived day by day the ordinary community life for His honor and glory rather than for her self-glory. At this time of COVID-19, she stands as a living sign to this digital world, to a show of society and a reward-based culture where many people wish to be known in the limelight. We could see in her a spiritual booster as well as an energizer, strengthening us in our moments of crisis, confusion, calamities, and uncertainties. Her feast day invites us to shed the selfish human thought pattern of show-off and embrace the selfless divine thought pattern of humble service. As we rejoice on this day of immense celebration of Blessed Maria Assunta, the super heroine of God, let's not forget that the path Assunta trod, we all can tread. What Assunta did, we all can do, if we but will it and take the means. Let us start it today. Blessed Maria Assunta, pray for us.
I am a pre-novice from Ghana who is longing to become a Franciscan Missionaries of Mary and waiting to enter into the novitiate. During this time, where our normal life has been injured due to COVID-19, I am proud to take the prevailing circumstances as a blessing. It has taught me the disponibility of Blessed Maria Assunta in all these instances, and my community experience in the Conference of Christ the King community in Ghana. When I think of the word disponibility, I recall the missing sending of Blessed Mary of the Passion, our foundress, who sent her daughters on a mission to faraway lands where Christ is unknown or less present. Their edifying life added more fragrance. With them, Sister Assunta joined to glorify the Lord through her little ways. From Italy to China as a missionary, it was not a comfortable journey. It was not a coasty life. It was not easy to communicate in the Chinese language. It was not easy to adapt the culture, people, and places. Yet she was amazingly disponible at all times, even to do the simplest and least tasks. Whether be in charge of the kitchen, field, or poultry, she accepted with joy and carried out silently, perfectly, yet happily with dedication. As a formatee, I feel blessed to have a role model, Blessed Maria Assunta, who enlightens me and motivates always to focus on my purpose.
I ask the Lord for the grace to make known to the world purity of intention, which consists of doing everything for the love of God, wrote Blessed Maria Assunta to her parents in January 1904. Blessed Maria Assunta's life had been a song which she sang with the purity of intention. The whole mark of her life was to be ready, hurt no one, and do everything with the purity of intention without any expectation. This seen in her short yet holy life. Everyone who encountered her was able to see the pure soul which longs to be of service to God and humanity. She was always thinking of becoming a saint and expressed it, "I will become a saint," and proved it by the sufferings she endured and the willful sacrifices. The Lord saw this beautiful soul and led her to exercise her blessedness in all that she did. Blessed Maria Assunta is a great boon for our institute. On this day, I am very grateful to God for giving this holy soul as our sister and model who has impacted my life in various ways. Today, she invites each one of us to imbibe the virtue of purity of intention in the place of adulterated motives. I wish you all a very happy feast.
Becoming minor doesn't mean being small, joining a particular group, region, and languages. It is to walk humbly with the Lord in this contemporary world. Maria Assunta was like a malleable clay in the potter's hands, who lived a life like so many others. Nothing special, nothing extraordinary, but what she lived it in depth. Being shared in the simple and poor life of the hard labor of her people in her early age, she began to live an interior adventure as a Franciscan Missionaries of Mary. One of the three aspects very dear to her was the humility of Francis of Assisi. Following his footprints, the humble saint radiated God's love in an unassuming way in Italy and later in China as a missionary. Her whole mission was very ordinary and hidden services, which she accepted with great humility and fulfilled it cheerfully. Her life was very short, and she did nothing great in the eyes of the world, but lived a humble, heroic life filled with love. Today, she invites each one of us who uphold her as a model to lead a life of humility, to remain minor, and reveal the humble Christ through our lives. Happy feast to all FMM family.
Life of simplicity. Blessed Maria Assunta was adorned with many virtues, in which I admire her simplicity. Living a simple life involves stripping away the non-essential and focusing on the things that are most. Blessed Assunta burned with the flame of love for God and neighbor. She sought only God's will and fulfilled with total simplicity. Her life was an uninterrupted prayer. Even during the task, her lips whispered prayers increasingly. Her daily actions said her simplicity and love for the divine. Pleasure or pain, joy or sorrow, life or death were all for her the same thing. More than that, she felt real joy in inconvenience and discomfort. She often used to say, "If Jesus wills, as Jesus will." It is visible that the spirit of prayer animated her to live a simple life. The life of Maria Assunta can be summed up in the words of St. Paul. Whatever you do, whether in word or deed, do it in the name of the Lord Jesus. Colossians chapter 3 verses 17. Great acts are made up of small deeds. Yes, small acts made her blessed. Franciscan simplicity and poverty had taken a deep root in her that led her to do everything for the love of God. Simplicity was the essence of her happiness. She spread this beautiful fragrance wherever she went. The secret of her holy life was that she extraordinarily carried on her ordinary duties. The life of simplicity lived by Blessed Assunta allowed her heart free from hate, her mind from worries, and lived simply, expected nothing but gave herself. She inspires us to do little things with much love and reminds us to prioritize the essential things in life. Everything in our life is a reflection of a choice that we make. If we want to live a purposeful life, dare to make a different choice, like Blessed Assunta. Happy feast to all. May Blessed Assunta be an inspiration to live a simple life.
Blessed Maria Assunta, a pure and beautiful soul of God, set an ardent example of being and doing everything for the love of God. The simple and humble way of her life had always been pleasing and acceptable to God. Her modest way of doing every single act was accepted and appreciated by every single sister lived with her. Since then, I have entered the congregation of Franciscan Missionaries of Mary. I have read, reflected, acted, and conducted many liturgies. But today, as I ponder over her life, I feel blessed and challenged. Her life was characterized by her practice of fraternal charity in a marked degree. All her sisters remembered her self-sacrificing ways, gentleness, and willing service. She was always in the presence of God. Thus, she could say and offer herself for the love of God, or all for Jesus, or what God wills, as He wills, may His will be done. Today, the simple life of her demands just to become like her, doing everything with a single motto, all for Jesus. Today, as we celebrate her feast, let us pause for a moment and ask ourselves, what is the motive behind of our being and doing? Do I live for God or for my selfish ambition? Is my doing and being attract souls to God, or distracts? Do my younger sisters experience the paradise of God in my community? Do I uphold my younger sister in my conversation with others? Or what do they tell about me in their sharing? Let Blessed Maria Assunta help us to live for God and do everything for God with single motto, all for Jesus.
Blessed Assunta was simple, humble, and remarkably hardworking. Her status was not in the positions she held in her mission, but in the dedication, childlike trust in the Lord, and ever discernible to do any kind of work led by the Spirit of God. Let us imbibe the spirit of Blessed Maria Assunta, who did ordinary things extraordinarily and paved way for us to tread her path. I wish you all a very happy feast of Blessed Maria Assunta. Thank you.